So we just finished our fourth week in the James series, and this week we talked all about that passage in James chapter 2, verses 14 through 26, where James kind of lays out what really is his foundational premise throughout the entire epistle, is that our faith, or our internal commitment to Jesus, and our actions or our works, that they should come into alignment with one another. And if they don't, then something is really wrong with our faith. And what he says is wrong with our faith is not that it's not existent, but that's just not vital. It's dead, because the life of Jesus within us, the faith that we hold in Jesus, should have this responsive nature to the life around us, right? That our faith in Christ should move us towards works, actions, deeds that show we have faith. And there's been some conversation throughout the course of church history about whether or not James, in his words about faith and works, is like contradictory to the Apostle Paul, who, for instance, says that our faith or our works has nothing to do with our salvation, that salvation is a free gift of God through Jesus Christ, that no one can boast, Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. And what we examine those here in the sermon this morning, and we see that they're just talking about the same thing. They're just talking about it from different spots in someone's spiritual journey. Paul was talking about how, you can't do enough good things in order to earn salvation from God, right? That salvation is a free gift of God through Jesus Christ. It is by grace. It is not through works, so that no one can boast, right? So what James is saying is, James is coming behind me like, okay, once you have faith, the natural response of that faith is good works. Well, what are good works? What are those things that James says should be apparent or present in the life of someone who has faith? Well, we go back to Paul, and Paul gives us all kinds of examples, right? He says in Galatians chapter 5, verse 6, that the only thing that matters is faith expressing itself through love. There we go. So what does Paul continue to say about love? Well, in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, he says all of these great things, like, love is patient, it is kind, it is not rude, it is not envious, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not self-seeking, it keeps no records of wrong, it is not easily angered. All of these things, right, that Paul is saying, all right, so how do I know that the faith that is in me with Jesus is being expressed in a way that shows that my faith is living well? Am I continually being transformed into a person that is more loving, is less rude, is more kind, is more gentle? That the measure upon which my faith should be measured or judged is not how much I know, like my intellectual knowledge, how much theology I can spout, how many Bible verses I have memorized, how many good devotional books I've read, or anything like that. But the measure of the vitality of my faith is, am I continually growing in my expression of love of God and love of others? And that is the alignment that James is talking about. That is the alignment that we are working towards. Not being a people that are more knowledgeable about faith, which is important, but primarily being a people who pursue knowledge of faith so that we can be more loving. That is the goal. So I hope you got that in the message today. If you didn't, make sure you go back and watch it. Hope you have a great time discussing these things in your small group, praying for your transformation continually to be a person that loves, lives, and serves more like Jesus. God bless Convent. We'll talk to you soon.